Welcome inside the den here, FOX5 Studios. Mike Davis, great guest with us today. He's a BMX Hall of Famer, and now he's becoming a member of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. He's Las Vegas born and raised, a Durango high school kid. The great TJ Lavin is here with us. TJ, you were playing piano in our waiting room. In the lobby.
That's because I show up early wherever I'm at, and then the security guard was like, I want to learn how to play piano too. And I said, well, then come on over. So
and you're self-taught. You trained yourself by ear.
Yeah. I just learned it, and there was no such thing. He was like, did you learn on YouTube? I was like, nah, there's no such thing as your YouTube when I learned.
I
was a kid.
How old were you when you?
Well, when I started playing around with a keyboard, I was probably 4 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is even before you started riding.
Yeah, totally. I was riding BMX after that, but I still rode bikes like since I was 2 with the training wheels. But like the piano thing, I was real into it already.
And I know from your songs like Soldier and stuff, like you're a good rapper as well. I mean, you're you're musically inclined, but
I love music. I love it.
Who's your favorite piano player?
I mean, singer? Elton John is the sickest, but my favorite piano player probably Mickey Finn.
Who I don't know.
He had a show here in Vegas for a long time. He's a Vegas legend. But he was here before Liberace and all that.
Oh, I've never heard of him.
He was like the baddest dude. And he actually came to my house and ripped my piano before. And his son, his name is Tracer Finn. He'd probably be in the Sports Hall of Fame soon. So he's like a BMX dude, one of the original BMX guys in Vegas.
That's so that's one of your first love, would you say, was music before even riding? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely loved it my whole life growing up. I mean, like the rap stuff, we listened to Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that stuff growing up, and then we would just rap the songs going camping and everything else, and just that's how we got timing and rhythm and how we learned everything, and then singing, I would just sing songs with whoever I was like going camping with or whatever. It was fun.
See, and I've interviewed you before, but I never knew the music component to your to yourself and your story. So when I was doing my research and I was listening to Time Goes On, you really had like an Eminem type of flow.
Thanks,
like
man.
I mean, it's very reminiscent of that. I would say.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun. Like now, people say that I sound like Jack Johnson a lot because all the new songs are just singing songs.
No, you look like Jack Johnson.
I look like a bum, but it's like, but I love it, man. I taught myself how to play guitar too about 5 years ago and started doing open mics here in Vegas. So now I do open mics and have fun playing music with all the local music talent, because there's so many talented people here. And so like it's cool getting to know like other musicians that have like minds,
It's interesting being around you and in your orbit, because I want to say a couple things. First, I don't want to forget this. One, I love that you're early. A lot of people aren't early. When I was a young kid, I wasn't the best student, but I was an okay kid. I got invited to this thing called Boys State. I grew up in New Jersey, and I cried every single day. It was basically like Army level training for like students in high school, that it was supposed to be a good thing that you were doing. It wasn't it wasn't like you were a delinquent. It was like you were a good kid. But I cried every day, and the only thing I remember from this experience, the first time I was away from my parents, was we would have to get up in the morning and go like boot marching, like boot camp stuff. And the guy said to me, to being on time is late. To be on time is late.
If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Right. It was like basically to be late is unacceptable. To be on time is late. To be early is really being on time.
Exactly.
And I've always taken that with me.
I 100% believe that, and that's because I don't appreciate it when people are late. You know what I mean? It's just because you're basically saying that your time is more important than mine. Yeah. That's basically what it said. And when I heard that, it fixed me of all ever being late again when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I was
it's a good way to be. But
and making my bed, that was something else that was very important growing up. Is like they were like, you got to make your bed, dude. You got to do it. And it's like it's the first thing that you successfully did in the day. And I was like, all right, cool. And then you start knocking successful things out. Soon you'll have 3, 4, 5 successful things you did that day, and you keep that going, then you got thousands the
Right.
next year. You know,
Stack them. Julian Edelman's big on that as well. But what I wanted to say regarding your orbit is fascinating, and that's why I think the music component to you is so cool. Is because most athletes, like you have this weird dynamic of being calm, cool, collected athlete who's not super, who would maybe come off not sensitive. But then you have the sensitivity of your music with you, and you have the dichotomy of you is very interesting because it's easy to see how you possess both. You know, I don't like a lot of athletes, you wouldn't think a BMX guy would be like that or wired that way. But I think even the way that you host and your work with the challenge with MTV, you're a different kind of host. You know, it's not
thanks, man.
It's not like the Jeff Probst or when Jerry Springer would do America's Got Talent. You have like the calm, cool collectedness, confidence of an athlete. But then you also do have that sensitivity and the performance quality of like an entertainer. So it's weird to take you in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like in a good way. It's weird.
I guess I'll just take it as a compliment and say
No,
thanks. Just say that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. No, that's cool, man. I mean, it's pretty weird, man, because I would wear out like really 3 or 4 sets of friends every single day. So I had different friends for different things, you know, like me and Mike Lanzini would go drawing and we would draw and make art and do cool things with art. I would paint and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I would go play piano by myself. And my Uncle Joey had a drum set in the back. I'd play the drums every day. So I played drums a lot growing up, and Uncle Joey was like the drum guy. And so that's where I found, I guess, my music love. And then I had pianos and little organs and whatever, you know, and I understood it and I instantly heard it when like Silent Night was the first song I ever played, and I was like 4 years old, and I just sounding it out on the piano, you know, figuring it out. And then how come this one sounds like this and then this one sounds the same? If you play this one here, and this all sounds the same. There's 7 octaves on the thing, you know, so you're like, you could play the whole thing and still it sounds exactly the same to me. I can hear it. You know, so it worked out. Yeah.
That's a gift. But I think, and I was setting myself up for what I wanted to say, your sensitivity, the first time I really witnessed this wasn't in person. It was when I was doing research on you and you were talking about a guy named Nick Herda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you were on The Talk, CBS show. Dude, I have never seen an athlete. I don't think I've ever seen a person cry on TV like you did in this interview when talking about Nick Herda, because first of all, this guy sounds amazing, and we got to break it down because from what I gathered, you were like this rambunctious little kid who's going around in his backyard.
Yeah.
And you're riding, and this dude doesn't say, hey, I got to call the cops. He's like, no, let's start a BMX team. But you were, I mean, tears strolling down your face. I interview athletes for a living. I've never seen an athlete like that in my entire life.
And I never cried like that in 20 years. So it's like, I don't have that gene, you know.
Most athletes don't.
I don't. It's weird. I don't have, I I teared up a tiny bit when I was taking down my backyard just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. When
you took it down?
Yeah, I took it down. And when I was doing that, somebody was talking to me and it got me a little bit choked up, but not, it wasn't like that. Like when the Nick Herda thing came on, I wasn't ready for it. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Yeah. Dude.
Oh, you had no idea?
No, I had no idea.
So
and then all of a sudden there's a picture of me and Nick and I'm like,
And he had passed away a couple summers ago.
Yeah.
So give us the background on him. As a kid growing up in Las Vegas, you have all these different things you're into. You're drawing, you're painting, your music.
You're just doing all this
But you're doing all different stuff. And then tell us how you came to meet Nick Herda.
Well, I started working at a ice cream shop at 15 years old. So I was already like riding BMX and all this stuff. And I was working that store just so I could buy a truck so I could drive to the trails. Well, turns out the trails were right up the street from my house. And so Nick Herda was a neighbor of mine that I didn't really know, but I knew he had a backyard track. So I jumped the fence, went in there and started riding. And he came home one day and, you know, the story, and he like said, let's make a team. And he was like a heavy party animal here in Vegas. Like everybody loved Nick.
Oh, okay.
Like Nick Herda
he was a fixture.
He was the dude. He knew everybody. Everybody loved him. Anybody that met him instantly loved him. he treated people with just such kindness and so cool, and like broke off every dude, you know, like with 20 here, 20 there, 10 here.
Really? What did he do?
Like he owned Herta's appliance store, which was the biggest appliance store in Vegas forever.
Oh, okay.
It was like, you're part of the family at Herta's was the
It was the tagline.
was the tagline. You're part of the family at Herta's, and there's no like, that was real. Like, those people are,
They treated it like a true family business.
the best. So when I met up with him, and then I became friends with him, he became more of a father figure to me, you know. And my real dad was a wild man, dude. He was like, he moved across towns. My parents were divorced when I was 7. We're just, you know, I'm single mom dude, and then go to Nick Herta's, and now Nick Herta is like, took me under his wing kind of. So he showed me the ropes on how to treat people, how to treat Las Vegas.
So he was like a dad.
Yeah, dude, like totally. So he and I were like real tight, and so he showed me, like, he gave me my love for old cars and old school hot rods and things like that. He gave me my love for that. Anything that I have in my life right now that I really practice and do, I attribute it to him and his upbringing, and how he helped me out, you know. So,
I implore everybody, go online and just type in and watch this, because it is such a moving thing to see how your response is. It's a very beautiful, moving thing to witness. But why do you think he took to TJ Lavin? Like, I mean, out of every other person in the world he could have taken to, I mean, there's something about you that must have spoken to him.
I mean, maybe, like, he definitely, he quit doing drugs. He quit doing all the stuff that he did. And he started like traveling with us and like taking us on the road and like having the best times ever. And like, some of my best things in my life were traveling around the country with Nick Herta. And he bought a bus and took us all in the bus, and like, we would just drive to El Paso, Texas, like nothing. And it was just like, dude, we're going to drive all the way there. He's like, yep, let's go. And then we'd just jump in the bus, and everybody would mash out.
This is all before 19. All before.
Oh yeah. This is like, you know, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all those years.
So while you're doing all this, you're road tripping with Nick, you're having these great times, but you're also working your way to becoming king of the dirt, because at 19, that's when you're termed that moniker you get, and all of a sudden you win your first pro.
Well, I got into my first pro.
At 19?
Yeah, no, 18.
At 18.
Just getting ready to turn 19. Like, so this happened in November. It was the weekend of Thanksgiving. November 1995.
Wow.
And I was getting ready to turn 19 on December 7th. So Mom said, look, honey, you're going to have to get a real job. Like, this is.
And there's no college for you.
There's no BMX. I mean, I went to college, but like just for health insurance. I didn't really give a care at all. And I went to piano. I went to art. I did like a bunch of art stuff and whatever, you know, like computers here and there, but not much of it. Just piano and that's it, really. I didn't care about college.
So you were gonna be more artistic.
Yeah, and, dude. Like, that's my brain for sure. And so I don't even care really about money at all. I just care about free time. So that was all I cared about the whole time, is just, if I had free time, then I would do it. Like, whatever job.
Wow.
I was a mover. I was in piano. I was in the ice cream store. I did a side job for Non-Ferris, which is a nuts and bolts factory.
Oh, okay.
That guy is another guy who's an incredible dude named Richard Lassiter. He was like, he's another father figure to me, and I loved him. And he just like took me under his wing and said, you can work whenever you want. Your hours are whatever they are. Just give me what they are, and I'll pay you $5 an hour.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. Perfect. So then I would go there every morning, do all the runs, and wake up real early, get there early, do all my things, then ask every head of every department in the whole entire building, which was massive. Yeah. Do you need me to do any errands for you? Do you need me to do any errands for you? And everybody had a list for me. And then I would do everybody's errands in the whole place.
Wow.
So it'd take me like, 6, 7, 8 hours, and then I'd get it done. Bring back everybody's stuff and did everything that they needed, and then clock out, and then get my money, and then bounce.
So but while this is all happening, are you discovering that, okay, I love art, I love music, but I have a gift for riding?
Yeah, BMX. Like, that was like my number one love for sure. Like, Music I loved, but BMX, like that feeling that it gave me when I would jump a jump and go really high, and then as I'm coming in, I see the landing and land in the landing perfect with no repercussions. That feeling, it felt like stealing. Like there's no way that I just did that. Like went that high in the air and then came right back down, and I didn't even get hurt.
You never were fearful.
No.
It was always just a high.
Yeah, just completely. I mean, I did take a lot of pretty heavy hits, but
Yeah, we'll talk about one of them. But of course, it was just that feeling, that moment. It was almost like a moment in time where it just stops. Is that kind of what it is?
I mean, it's my wife has actually discovered it surfing.
Oh,
she's like, I just want to do it. I don't care. It's my passion. I don't want to do anything else. I don't care about anything else. I just want to surf. And I was like, it's going to be really hard in Las Vegas, so you better go somewhere else. So she goes to like Nicaragua a lot, and she goes to Mexico. She goes all these places and
searching
surfs
for that.
And she's just searching for that feeling. And I'm like, I don't blame you. Go do it. Like, because it is the best feeling in the world. And now I'm like, it's I don't have that same thing yet, right, but I'll find it sometime, somewhere, somehow.
See, it's so interesting.
But it's just a weird feeling that's like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you hit that jump, do whatever you got to do, and then you land on the landing with no repercussions from what you just did, like except for the excitement that you made it and landed it, and like
you're saying better than sex, better than drugs, better than anything.
I don't know. I never did any drugs, but I mean, I'm sure that probably does something for you.
But that's the best feeling you've ever felt.
Yeah, it's the best, incredible. I mean, yeah. For sure, 100 times.
So that's so crazy. And, so obviously 3 gold medals, X Games, 1 silver, 3 bronze. What, as an athlete, I'm not the most fluid with the X Games and BMX and all that kind of stuff. But if we were just talking basketball or football, what was it about you and the way that you performed? What was it about you that was different than the average BMX rider? Can you tell us like what separated you? If we were talking about, Dirk Nowitzki, he was a 7-foot German shooter for the Dallas Mavericks who could play power forward and center and literally shoot. This is before a 3-point shot was a big deal. He could shoot outside range at 7 feet. He could do a step back, fadeaway turnaround jump shot at 7 feet. It's impossible for somebody to block that. So that was a uniquely attributable quality that he had. When it comes to BMX, what was yours?
I think like growing up, I was a little dude. Like I graduated high school 5'3", 100 pounds. Like I was little, really little. And I grew a foot and grew out, grew 60 pounds or 70 pounds at 19, 20. So like those 2 years, my legs hurt so bad every day because I was growing.
Yeah.
And everything. I mean, it was wild. People would see me and they were like, dude, you're not even the same dude. Like I was so tall, and compared to what I was. And so I think growing up, learning all the tricks that I learned, I had to extend them and hold them and do everything really big because I wasn't that tall and it didn't look great. So I had to like really hone in on the trick and do it and hold it and do everything that I was doing.
It had
hold
to be
it
accentuated.
Wide. Yes. Accentuate every trick and make sure that everyone sees it properly. Because then when I was 18 and I started growing, and then 19, when I started really growing, like the tricks, I was still holding them. And I was still holding them like I was
so you were longer,
5'5",
right?
But I was 6 foot tall. You know what I mean? Like now I'm like,
wow.
Oh my God. So everything that I did, like as a shorter dude that was like, a little skinny mini, then now I'm this bigger dude doing this stuff. It made the tricks that much bigger because big dudes don't usually hold stuff like that.
That's so interesting.
And hold.
Because I remember from your PlayStation game. the cover, it's like it is accentuated. The cover, you can see you're kind of like, it's almost like you're a hawk, on the bike, and it is accentuated. So you're saying even in skating terms with like a Tony Hawk, who's very lanky,
tall and
lanky. He's got long limbs. For him, it's already accentuated.
Yeah.
Because of his build. So you're saying for you actually had to meticulously, actually purposefully think that out. And as you continue to practice that as you grew, it became your kind of staple.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that's such a fascinating thing. I love that. What an inside baseball way to look at it. So all that work, all that stuff, you're honing in on that moment, that feeling of when you're performing. And then, of course, you have that crazy accident here at the Dew Tour.
Yeah, I mean, I was already like pretty much retiring.
That was 2010
from BMX. Yeah, exactly. That was 2010. So I was a pro for 15 years of BMX, and I was like, I'm getting kind of tired of it. I don't really want to put any pressure on myself. Plus, I don't want to take any money from companies
for sponsors.
Away from everybody else. Yeah,
but I even read. Tell me if this is true, because when I read this, I got chills. Did you actually say to somebody that before the Dew Tour Championship in 2010, before that, you actually told people this is going to be my last race 100%? Like you already spoken into it existence.
Yeah, that was my mom. I actually called my mom on my way to the Hard Rock and said that. I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be my last one. I'm done. And she was like, all right, whatever you want. Whatever you want to do.
Isn't that freaky that you...
Yeah, it was really weird, actually. Like,
and you remember that you even did that.
Yeah, I totally remember it. And I remember, like, standing in a pizza shop across the street the day before the contest, when they just built the contest. They built all the jumps. My friends built all the jumps. And so we went and tested them out. And they were like, backflip the first set, first go. And I was like, all right. So I did. And they were like, oh my God, I was sick, and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, those jumps are good. They're fun. It was good times. And then, so that was like kind of a thing that we all did, and we cheer each other on, like backflip the first go or 360 the first set, first go, never touched it, things like that, because it was like, that's the only way to make it hard, because we were so good,
right.
And then those, I mean, it was crazy. Like I look back at it and I'm like, dude, that guy, there was nothing I couldn't do on a bike. I would just jump or whatever.
You felt like God on a bike.
On a bike, for sure. But there was nothing that I wouldn't do or say into existence easy on a bike. It was crazy. And then that conversation with my mom, I remember I was driving down Harmon, and I was almost to the place, and I had a really bad stomach ache, like nerve. And I was never nervous. I was always good. And I was always like, whatever, who cares? And then this time I was like, yeah, I'm done. This is it for me. So if you want to,
you felt nerves for the first time ever.
No, not ever, but this kind of nerves, yes. And I would get nervous here and there, but this is a different weird nervous. I knew that something wasn't right, and it was weird. And a friend of mine took a slam at my house the day before. Ty, so I was already really upset, it was
you were off.
Yeah, off. It just wasn't good. And so I shouldn't have ridden, but I knew there was a lot of people there, and a lot of people came to see me ride, and a lot of friends came out from LA, and all my challenge family and stuff. A lot of them came. The stunt coordinator came, the executive producer was there.
Wow.
Everybody was there. And I was like, dude, I gotta ride. So I did, and I just didn't do good. I mean, I did great the first 2 laps.
I'm just happy you're
third
alive.
Lap, no bueno.
I'm happy you're alive. You were in a coma, broken ribs, broken wrist, and you had a brain injury.
Yeah.
The after effects of that probably are still are they still even in your life today? Well,
the brain injury thing, you can ask my wife about that. But no, it's it's definitely I'll forget something or whatever very often. I'll forget this or that. I had to set this interview in my phone, and we just talked about it yesterday. or else it would have never got done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
But I mean, people have a brain injury and they learn and they can speak a language they couldn't speak before. I mean, the brain's a crazy place.
Yeah, it is wild.
So how long were you in a coma?
2 weeks.
Your mom, you spoke to her before.
Yeah.
What did all these people, when you woke up, what was the first thing that you saw when you woke up from this coma?
Oh God, I saw my wife and my mom and my friend Reed Johnson. He played baseball.
Yeah.
He's a pro baseball player.
Yeah.
Reed Johnson. He played for the Cubs.
Oh, okay.
He played for the Cubs and he played for the Blue Jays too. Yeah. He played for them too. And he was actually there. And then I tried to get out of bed. I was like, all right, cool. Here we are. Let's go. I thought I just took a slam. I didn't even know that I was there for 2 weeks or 10 days or something. I don't remember how long the thing was, but it was like a long time. But I don't remember. Had no idea it was that. I thought it was just another knockout.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of those. And that I would just wake up in the hospital, get up, be fine, make a day or two, and then I'd still be riding tomorrow, you know? And so they're like, no, dude, no, this is a big deal. Like you
you didn't even understand.
Yeah, like I had no idea.
The severity.
Repercussions, yeah, and the severity of the situation. So I got up and I instantly fell on the floor of the hospital because I didn't know how to walk, right? And I was like, what the hell? And then so I just started peeing in the hallway because I thought I was in the bathroom, and Reed like picks me up. He's like this strong dude, you know. He picks me up, takes me to the bathroom, and he holds my hand while I hold my piece, and he's like, dude, just tell people from now on, like, if they don't want to wear a helmet, it's really way cooler to wear a helmet than it is to have your buddy hold your for you. And I was like, all right. So that's
hey,
so I was like, yeah.
If anybody takes anything away from this interview, wear a helmet so your best buddy doesn't have to touch your, groin area.
Yes, it's not
but
good.
What a great friend. That's a
good dude, man. He's still a great friend of mine. Years later, I rolled a truck. He came and got me from Brian Head. He's one of my best buddies. We don't even talk. We don't see each other or talk for years.
Yeah.
And then when I see him, it's all hugs and love. And we
it's really interesting. It's such a cool, and I think it's so funny because you're so natural as the host of the challenge. And I think what it is the through line that I'm witnessing here through your stories is you're very, like, you're kind of really great at just making friends, like, and hanging. Like, you're good, you're good at that. And it's kind of cool because it is an interesting way that you're dynamic on the challenge. It's not the typical host. You're a friend, but you're also kind of like pushing them as well. So it's kind of it's an interesting dynamic because I don't think a lot of hosts feel like a friend. But then at a lot of times, a lot of hosts don't push the competition to bring out their best. And you're very blunt, and it's interesting the way that you are with things. So you're a professional hanger-outer. And
dude, that's a great term because I get that a lot, actually.
Like, there's something weird about you because there's a lot of people who I don't feel that way, but you're really good at that, I think.
Thanks, man.
In an impressive way.
Well, I'll just take that as a compliment too, man. You're killing it, bro.
We're killing it with the compliment. So as a guy who grew up here in Vegas, Durango High School, I mean, you know this city like the back of your hand. This honor, I mean, there's a lot of people in the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame that aren't, born and raised. And, this is a special thing unique to, some people that are high-level achievers in athletics, but also you have this connection. Is this a major thing for you? When you got the BMX Hall of Fame, that was big, but how does this feel for you as a native Las Vegan?
I'm really excited about it, actually. I kind of wondered in the back of my head if I was ever going to do that, like if they were ever going to see me, because I've been retired for so long, and I thought maybe it already passed.
Oh, you were thinking if they were going to recognize you?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's like, we did it. It was all right.
Yeah.
But like I saw, like a couple of my buddies went in and a couple people, and I was like, now we have professional sports teams. They'll probably forget about me. It's okay. And, that's what I was thinking in the back of my mind. Yeah, but they didn't. It was cool. It was really cool.
It's a big thing. There's
it's an honor. It's an honor for sure. And to be going in with a buddy of mine, Derek England, who's one of the original Golden Knights. And I'm like Golden Knight fanatic. Like
Is
I
that
go
your?
to every game.
Do you go to every game?
Yeah, almost every game. I'm there. I'm at table 1, section 13 every game, and that's just how I roll. I love it.
For you growing up here, you know, running Rebels, of course, was a thing, but you know, to have professional sports teams here, I mean, it must mean a lot to you to have. I mean, the first really born and bred a Vegas-born team in the Vegas Golden Knights. That's probably you were probably dying for this since you were a little kid.
Yeah, for sure. But to tell you the truth, I wasn't even a really team sports guy. Like I didn't really care about it. I played 9 years of baseball just because my friends did, and I was the worst player on the team. Like throwing the glove in the air in the background, I didn't even care. Like I was just like so bored out of my mind. Like, please, let's just go do something else.
Right.
You know, but I didn't care about team sports. But when the Knights came, something happened, and my whole mentality switched because I went to a game in New York. I went to Montreal, and I watched Montreal play. I don't even remember who they were playing.
They're playing you're saying in New York.
Back in the day, yeah.
So you saw the Islanders or the Rangers?
No. I went to Montreal.
Like they were in Montreal.
In Montreal,
and they were playing in New York.
Yeah. And so I saw them, and I was like, "Ooh, this is amazing! Like this is a great sport."
It's
and
cool.
then all of a sudden, the Knights came to Vegas, and I was like, "What? Like we're getting one of these teams too? Oh, this is a great team sport. This is the team sport.
Wait,
if you're gonna have
familiar with the NHL, like you didn't understand the physicality.
I had no idea.
Right.
None.
Because here's the thing, it doesn't always translate to TV.
It doesn't translate at all. Like if you see it, like
see it in
person, it is so much cooler and faster and badassness.
Dude,
like
it's like, but you would appreciate it more than anybody because the truth is, if they're like ballerinas who will beat the crap out of each other.
100%. So I loved it. I went for a mountain bike ride with Chris Chelios.
Yeah.
Who is a legend of the sport.
Yeah.
Had no idea. You
didn't know who he was?
Nope, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Wow.
And we're just sitting there talking, having fun, riding up the mountain bike, riding up the hill. Right. I was like, all right, I'll see you at your house. He's like, all right, cool. He had a house in Malibu on the beach. You know, he's Chris Chelios. He's the dude. And it was me, him. This is the sickest mountain bike ride ever, by the way. Me, him, this dude Don Wildman, who started Bally Fitness.
Oh, wow.
And Laird Hamilton, who's a really big wave surfer.
Yeah.
Badass dude. Real cool guy. That's the guy that was my connection to get into this club. And John McEnroe.
Wait.
And I was like, wow.
Wait, what? This is the greatest.
Yeah.
This might be I don't like hanging out with people, to be honest, which is weird why I do what I do. I'm a little antisocial. But as a professional hanger-outer, that probably would be the greatest mountain biking day of hanging out with people of all time. Let me understand this. Let's break this down one more time.
Yeah.
All right. John McEnroe, who I know and love.
Who was sweet as can be.
I've interviewed him.
The nicest, coolest dude I ever met. Loved him.
And he's a big music guy as well.
Yeah, I loved him.
He's awesome. McEnroe, Chris Chelios from the Blackhawks.
Had no idea who he was. But he was awesome. When
MJ was huge in Chicago with the Bulls, he was like at that level too. They were big. So Chelios, McEnroe, the dude who created Bally's Fitness, Laird Hamilton, the legit surfer,
surf god,
her surf god.
Yeah,
he's married to Stacy.
Gabby Reese.
Gabby Reese, right.
Who's like my sister, by the way. She's family. I love her.
Gabby Reese, Laird. Okay, so it's just Laird, McEnroe, Bally's guy, you and Chris Chelios.
Yeah.
Where were you mountain biking?
In Malibu.
Oh my God. Dude, what do you guys do? What are you talking? Like, what?
I know, it was sick, dude. It was crazy. I mean, now that you say it like that, it's like,
who sets it up?
That's pretty badass.
And you don't even know who Chris Chelios is, so who sets it up?
I was staying at Gabby's house in
Yeah.
Malibu in Latigo Canyon with Laird. And Laird was like, we're going to go for a mountain bike ride. I was like, all right, sweet, dude. He's like, I got you a bike from Chelios. And I was like, all right, sweet. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, so we go down the hill, and Chris's house is on the beach, and he's got the sickest setup I ever seen. And I was like, this is killer. And he was like, I was like, man, just another rich dude down here. All right, sweet. They're like, no, he plays hockey. I was like, all right, cool. Whatever, hockey, like, I don't even care about hockey at that point. And then, so we ride mountain bikes. We go all the way up the hill, and he was really cool. Like, badass dude. I could tell he fights a lot because his nose is all messed up.
He's got,
yeah. I was like, I love this dude.
He's like a
he's
Greek
cool.
dude.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He was awesome. So we talked all the way up the hill. Me and McEnroe like got it on the best because everybody else was like really hauling ass up this hill. and this Don Wildman was 80 years old or something at the time. And he was killing it up the mountain bike trail, like gone. And I was like, dude, these dudes are bad. And I had a hard time keeping up with them going up the hill. But then we went down, and I was like, all right, guys.
You got this.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And I went down.
This is what I did.
I smoked them like 30 minutes. I see everybody later. And so then that was it. That was it. But when I got home, you know, I said to everybody, like, I knew this guy. This guy's named Chris Chelios. And then a couple of my friends were like, dude, that's the baddest dude ever to touch a hockey rink and yada, yada, yada. He was the fighter at the Black Wings.
So it's funny because you really had no frame of reference. And then you come here and you start seeing these games in person. You'd already seen in Montreal the Canadians play.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's like these are guys who are so precise. They can skate like a ballerina. They can stop on a dime.
Yeah.
And then they'll bash each other's nose in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool stuff.
I love it. I love it. So that sport to me is
the fact you're going in with Derek is a cool thing for the Southern
great
Nevada
for me.
sport.
Yeah,
it's
I love that because Derek and I got along great because our wives hung out at Pilates things and doing whatever. And so then we met, and then I have a gym at my house. So Derek and his wife would come over and they would work out, and me and Derek got along good. And I was like, all right, cool.
See, this is what I'm taking from this interview. It's not just that you're a great guy, but what I got to do is I care too much. Like when I'm hanging out, I would be, oh my God, that's Chris Chelios. I got to play it cool. Like you. Like I got to learn how to, that's why you're a professional hanger-outer, because you're low key. No, you're easy to be around. For me, it would be too much. Nobody would want to hang out with me because like this guy, like I don't want to ride mountain bikes with this guy. It's too much. I got to be like, who is that?
That's just ignorance. I think it's just ignorance. So I'm just gonna chalk that up to ignorance. But no, like he was cool. Like the number one hanger out. I mean, I loved Charles Barkley. I hung out with Charles Barkley before. He was.
Where was that?
I went to a UFC fight in Atlanta, and he was there, and he and I got along great, man.
I love that guy.
He is so cool, and like he is just like he is on TV. Like. He's the best dude ever.
He's funny, man.
He's so funny. And we clowned each other and bet and gambled and had fun, and it was great. It was fun.
Yeah, man.
But I like, he was great. Other hangouts that I've had I've had some very heavy hitters too. Like, I mean, these guys are all like
billionaires?
In one.
Is that what we're talking?
No, I don't care about billionaires. I don't really know if anybody has money or not. I don't.
But who are heavy hitters? What does that mean?
Like famous people, like that are really
like
really
DiCaprio.
Famous. Well, I never hung out with DiCaprio, but I did hang out with I can't remember that guy's name. Who's that really tall guy who's in like all the Buddy movies? Who's really tall? Vince Vaughn.
Oh.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, he's cool as hell. That guy. I hung out with him a little bit at a Supercross race in Anaheim.
Wow.
Which was fun. That was really cool. But we weren't like boys. But the one guy that really got me, that I was like, oh my God, this is really crazy. It was Brad Pitt. He came over to my house. Yeah. Brad came over with his kids and to see my backyard, and like he thought that they could ride four-wheelers back there, and I was like, bro, they can't ride four-wheelers back here.
Wait. Hold the phone.
Maddox and Pax, those are his kids, right? So Maddox
with and Pax, Angelina, those are his kids. Yeah.
So they came over, the whole crew. Angelina wasn't there, but she was on the phone. And so Brad came over with his two kids, and they brought four-wheelers in another truck, and my friend Jesse Rook, who's a motorcycle guy at the time. So they all came over, and I said, we can't do that because it's way too gnarly for the kids. They would die. There's no way I'm gonna let them do that. So he was like, oh, sorry. Okay, cool. And I was like, I'll jump over them a couple times just to give you a show. He's like, yeah, dude. So I did that, and I was like, hey, I gotta go pick up my daughter from school. So you guys just hang out here for a little while, and then I'll be back. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, all right, cool. So then they just hung out at my house with my dogs and chilled for a little bit, and then I went and picked up my daughter, came home. I was like, hey, I got a friend at the house that you're going to be stoked to meet. And she's like, all right, cool. So we did. She met him. And then I was like, all right, let's jump in the golf cart. And then we'll go drive around with Maddox and Pax. And we'll drive. They can ride four-wheelers. There's a four-wheeler track over by my sister's house. And we'll do that. And he's like, all right, cool. So we did. And it's like 3 miles away.
Wow.
So we rode in the golf cart. Brad sits next to me. And then my daughter sits on his lap. He was so sweet. He was so cool.
Who? What a world.
I know. And then he was like, he looked over at me. I looked over at him. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And then he looked over at me. He's like, dude, you really got to figure it out, kid. Like, you really got to figure it out. This is amazing. And I was like, thanks, man. Yeah, you're doing pretty good yourself. He started laughing. And I was just like, dude, this is crazy.
What year was this?
I don't know, maybe like 9.
2009.
Yeah, something like that.
So this was before your accident.
Yeah, right before my wreck. So, like, my neighbor still talks about it too. She was like out there, and my other neighbor, and he was like, dude, Kristen came in the house and was like, Brad Pitt just drove by our house. I was like,
all right, so you've been around a lot of people. Vince Vaughn, Chris Chelios, a good-looking guy. A lot of good-looking guys. Reed Johnson, you were intimate with him once.
Yeah, a lot.
Which
very.
Which is beautiful for you.
Very.
But is Brad Pitt the best? What does he look in person? Is it true movies? There's not a lot of movie stars. You know what I'm saying? Like an old school movie star, like a Humphrey Bogart.
No,
like,
dude.
You know,
no. He's a movie star. Like that dude.
Like he just has something about him.
Bro, you look at him, you're like, you're the most beautiful man on the planet. And then he opens his mouth and he's that cool. Right. You're like, dude, I love this guy. Like he's the best dude. Yeah, you love him. He's great.
This
great
F1
guy.
movie, he was in Vegas riding on the strip during F1 for this new F1 movie
was?
coming out for Apple. He's got a new movie coming out called F1. He plays an F1 driver, but when they had the whole setup here last year, he shot a scene for the Apple movie that he's going to be. But he's like into this stuff. Like Paul Newman was big into racing as well. So Pitt's into this. Who connected you? How does Brad Pitt just show up at your house?
I think it was from Jesse Rook, who was a friend of mine from Dragon Sponsor, which was this dude named Kenny Adams.
Okay.
And then Kenny was like, hey, TJ's house.
Gotcha.
And
I wouldn't be able to play it cool like you. Listen, we got a few last things to talk about here. So,
cool.
Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame, a lot of great stuff going on with that. You're being inducted into that. I want to ask you a little bit about the challenge, because the challenge as well, you just had the 40th season, 41st is coming up?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I just got done filming it right now.
You just
got back from Chile.
You just got back from Chile. So you can watch the 40th season on Paramount Plus right now. Coming up, though, 41st season. How many years have you been hosting this?
I've been hosting it for 20.
20 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable, and it's so beautiful how everybody you're such a fixture with that show. The contestants, you've become basically synonymous with the show itself, which is hard for somebody who doesn't start off as the host, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing that you've been able. How many times has somebody come into a situation after the fact and then become synonymous with the brand? It's not easy to do.
No, I'm sure it's difficult, but I'm sure there's been people, you know. I don't know who the first host of the Jeopardy was, right? And Alex Trebek became.
I mean, one guy would be like, I guess Johnny Carson wasn't the first host of the Tonight Show.
Well, there you go. And then now
he kind of became.
But
it's hard to do. That's good company.
Yeah, it is great company.
Yeah,
you know? Jesus, I love you guys though. Thank you. You know, that's amazing.
There you go. Listen, it's TJ Lavin, a born and raised Las Vegas kid, host of the challenge, 41st season coming up. Any big exciting? Give us a tease for the people who love the challenge. Anybody, any things you can tease us about Chile and what's going down in season 41?
Man, you know what's so wild is that you could sit here and tell me, like, TJ, I really want to know who won. Can you give me $1 million? Can I give you $1 million to tell you who won? And I go, I have no idea. Dude, I swear to God, I have no. Yeah, dude, like. The accident from 2010 coming right back. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you who won.
But is it fun?
For $1 million.
Okay.
It's 100% fun. It's
and
amazing.
What's your entrance?
I remember.
You always have a big entrance. Do you remember your entrance?
What? I have no idea. like I don't even have.
I don't even know your entrance.
I don't
You
even
do
know
like
my.
Tom Cruise stuff on your entrance, don't
I
you?
mean, no, he's
Sometime.
badass. Like
No, but
Tom
you
Cruise
come in
is-
on a bike, or you'll do
I mean,
something cool
yeah,
off a,
like
a helicopter.
I haven't done anything cool like that for a while. Like anything gnarly. Like I never did anything to my potential. I'd never, still to this day.
Huh.
However, next time, our next show that we do, 42, I think we're going to bring a little more heat. I think
Ooh.
something's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but something cool. Like I'm going to do something dangerous.
Okay.
I feel like I need to get back in the
wanna
seat. You know what I mean? Let's do something like risky.
Okay.
You know? So I think me and Justin were just talking this morning, the executive guy,
Yeah.
and a good buddy of mine. And we were talking this morning. He's like, we got to bring the heat next season. I was like, all right, let's do it. Like whatever. So I think we're going to do something crazy.
Right.
But in any case, this season, 41, was amazing. I remember saying to myself halfway through the season, this could be the best season that we ever filmed. And I was like, this is going to be really good. Like that was the perfect. They're going to think this is fake. Like, and there's nothing on there fake at all.
I like it. You get into it. You push people. You hurt. Like, you're into this, and I like it. So, listen, the Challenge family, everybody's going to love season 41 coming out soon. You just wrapped that up in Chile. 42 is when a lot of craziness is going to go down.
Something dangerous is going to happen.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
I love it.
We don't know.
I stay away from danger usually.
Dude.
Myself.
I know. I do too. Hey, me too, brother.
But
me too.
it's in your bones. It's in your blood. You're also a professional hanger-outer. We're going to start calling you that as well.
I am.
TJ Lavin, now not only BMX Hall of Fame, not only the host of the Challenge, but now also a member of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. Well-deserved. They didn't overlook you. I'm happy it happened.
I am happy too. It's cool.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, man.
Time.
Appreciate it, brother. I'll see you Friday.
See you.
All right.